But our guest tonight from the Hillsdale Academy, Tim Wells, along with senior Noah Kaltoff and senior Colin Hubbard. They are 6-3 in the season so far this year, and they join us tonight. Guys, how are you?
Doing well. Doing pretty good.
Coach Wells, this is your rookie season, man, and you've won 6 of your first 9 games. That's a great start.
Well, we're just grateful. I'm grateful to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the opportunity just to be able to work with these guys. Coaching with Coach Charney at the college for 5 years was certainly a great opportunity, and now having the chance to swing over and work for Mike Roberts with his boys has been a fantastic chance as well.
Okay, this happened kind of suddenly, didn't it? Somewhat soon before the season was about to start. When did you know that you were going to be the head coach?
Well, I had talked to Mike, in the spring about doing JV, and he approached me again in the fall and said that there had been a change, last minute, and I wanted to see if I'd be willing to step in and fill those shoes, and I was certainly happy to do that. It was, like you said, a little bit last minute, but it's been great and a great experience so far.
Well, with your experience of coaching with Coach Charney, as you mentioned, you certainly weren't intimidated or anything to take the varsity job. But had you ever coached high school basketball before that?
I had not coached high school, so it was a little bit of a change. Obviously, not with having a shot clock and the fourth quarter being different, and with the whole stall, scenarios and teams. If you're up 2 or 3 possessions with, we've had teams with 4 or 5 minutes left start to stall. So that was certainly different, for me. But being able to rely on the guys and their experiences and be able to adapt, I think we've come over that pretty quickly and have had some success here in the last month or so.
Tim Wells is the head coach of the Hillsdale Academy Colts. They are 6-3, about halfway through the season. What's your background? How did you get into coaching?
Well, I had the opportunity to play on the college's scout team. When I was here as an undergrad at Hillsdale, working just playing against the women's team. They would bring 5 or 6 of us in, and we would scrimmage against them, just to have some different competition.
Who were some of the people you played during that time?
Against?
Yeah.
Well, we obviously we had the big class of 6 that were sophomores and juniors. When I was in upper class, it was Nikki Wussman and Gretchen Rocco.
Oh, sure.
Jen Carlson and Jody Haynes and Lauren Fewens and that crowd. So, a lot of big names as far as the women's basketball program goes. So.
Yeah, get right in that. My engineer at home is telling me you need to get closer to the microphone.
I can do that.
So, Carrie, thank you. My wife is my engineer. So we'll get you a little bit closer to the mic. So you played scout against the ladies, and that's how you got to know Coach Charney?
Yeah, I got to know Coach Charney, and at the time, her assistant, Tracy Bruno, was also here. And, I met my future wife, who was formerly Summer Way, who played volleyball for Chris Gravel for 4 years, and so we started dating our senior year, and obviously made plans, got engaged, at the end of our senior year, and wanted to have the opportunity to stay. I'm originally from Virginia, so they gave me the opportunity to come on as a kind of a volunteer assistant that first year. After that first year, Tracy ended up taking a head coaching job in New York, and I was fortunate to be offered the full assistant job, and did that for another 4 years before just sliding over and now working just for the college administration. So great 5 years, great background, and it certainly prepared me to try and lead these guys.
How is the college women's game similar and different from what you're doing now with these high school boys?
Similar and different. Well, the speed of the game is obviously different, and that's one of the things that we're trying to work with our guys in, and making practice. If you can make practice harder than the game is much simpler, and the game slows down. So, doing everything from having crowd noise tracks in the background while we practice to just trying to make it as intense as possible. When you have at any college level, you have athletes that are your athletes. They're there 9 months out of a year, and they're there, for that one sport. You're able to really develop them and work them into the system that you want. Here, it's a little bit different. You have to get to that level much quicker. We start, in the college game October 15th. We're a full month after that, with high school, and you really want to be able to facilitate guys at the high school to be multi-sport athletes and give them time to do other things. So it's just really trying to capitalize on the time that you have. So some similarities, in the sense of the high school level, especially with the guys I have at the academy, they're still learning the game. So you have the opportunity just to teach them and watch them grow. That's probably one of the most fun aspects, is being able to put things out there and see them after time start to get it. We use a lot of different catchphrases, in the program, but one of them is just making strides, taking strides. We want to be on an upward trajectory. We tell them, circle March 1st. By the time March 1st gets here, I've taught you everything I can. We're going to be as good as we're going to be March 1st. But until then, we want to be better today than yesterday and better tomorrow than today. So.
And the program definitely heading in the right direction with Tim Wells at the helm, Noah Kaltoff and senior Colin Hubbard here as well. We'll talk to them in just a minute. 6 big wins already on the year. Obviously, every win is special and every win is important. Let's talk about the first one, your first high school coaching career victory. That had to be a special night.
Oh, it was fun. We were over on the western side of the state, playing Colin. And, we led start to finish most of the way, a double-digit lead, and just got a little rocky there at the end. But one of the things we said at the end is we have to, learn to win, and being able to handle a lead, being able to, we were up, 12, 16 points in the fourth quarter. They whittled it down to 3 or 4. But, bending and not breaking is key too. So taking that first win and just trying to be able to capitalize and catapult from there, has been good. Good for these guys to get that feel.
What's your take on the SCAA so far?
Every night is different, and that's one of the things that we prepare for. You don't really know, what you're going to get. Even just, with some of our games last week, Camden played us really tough, at the Pat Patterson tournament, and then we were able to do some things defensively against them. So you're never really sure, but one of the phrases we use with our guys is "do what we do." No excuses, no explanations, and whatever it takes. So I'm not necessarily a proponent of changing what you do based on your opponent, but if we do what we do better than they do what they do, we're confident that we're going to have a good result.
I know you don't want to explain your whole basketball strategy and everything right here on the radio, but in simple terms, what is your approach offensively? Do you have a lot of plays? Is it just 1 or 2 continuities?
Right.
What are you trying to do on the offensive side of the floor?
When we walked into Coach Zach Miller, he works in admissions, so I nabbed him pretty soon to come on and help me, and we talked a lot about okay, let's take the guys, let's put them through some open gyms, let's see what we have to work with, and finding something that capitalized their strengths, and gave us time to work on our weaknesses, was big. So it was we knew very soon that utilizing Bo Ryan's swing offense from Wisconsin was going to be key. It doesn't require a lot of dribbling, a lot of ball handling, a lot of cutting and screening and moving. Allowed us to capitalize on our inside game, which having Noah at 6'8" and his brother Peter, who's well over 6'4", we wanted to be able to utilize that, but also free up our guards to be able to move, get outside shots, and hopefully capitalize on a lot of big little screens. So that was key. We do have a handful, probably half a dozen quick hitter plays. I was expecting a lot of 2-3 zone. I was surprised by how much zone there is in the college game, and each coach is different with his philosophy, and obviously zone can work. You just have to look at Syracuse to see that you can win a national championship playing a 2-3 zone. But that's just not me. I want to get up, I want to pressure, and good offense starts with good defense. If we get stops, then we can run. If we can run, we'll wear teams down. We wear teams down, we force them to come out of their zone, and then we can start executing. So, we've had to work hard to really develop what we can do against the zone, and getting some quick hitters against the zone, working on ball movement, working on faking a pass to make a pass, and getting the guys continuity-wise, what do we do when the ball's on this side of the floor, and just teaching the game and then trying to implement that day to day.
Why don't you talk about or introduce the guys you brought with you tonight?
Yeah, we've got Noah Kaltoff, our senior forward, and our lead guard, Colin Hubbard. So they've been with the program here for several years. Noah's lucky here to have his freshman brother Peter up with him, on varsity, and Colin as well. So they've played together for several years, and certainly have some good continuity that they bring to the table.
Noah, how tough was it to have a brand new head coach, new system, new philosophy coming into your senior year? How tough was that transition?
It was a little bit tough, but Wells has done a great job coming in, laying down the lines on what we're supposed to be doing in practice. And with this young team, it was very easy for a lot of guys who this is their first time up on varsity, jumping right in with what he is trying to do. So it's actually been a relatively smooth transition.
I would think as a guy who's 6'8", at this level of basketball, you don't face a lot of guys on a night-in, night-out basis who are your size. Do you feel that adds a lot of pressure to you, that you kind of have a target on your back being the big man in the county, so to speak?
I think the refs think so sometimes. But I don't know if it puts a target on my back. I mean, definitely when teams notice that when I'm a head taller than a lot of guys out there. But I just got to learn to play to my strengths and then help my team be the best they can.
What happens when you and your dad face off against each other?
Well, my dad is quite skilled at basketball and has played a lot of ball. So we go at it and it's a lot of fun. We haven't played one-on-one in a while. I need to take him up on some offers and see what we can do. Dr.
Kalthoff was pretty good at basketball and no facial hair at all. You're keeping it clean shaven right now, huh?
Yes. I'm letting my dad hold down the family beard right now.
You threw one down against Camden Frontier, and a lot of the CF students who I work with on a daily basis, they weren't upset about it. They kind of admired it. In fact, some of the people said it was really one of the most entertaining things of the whole game. How many in-game dunks have you had, and can you explain to a 5'8" guy what that feels like?
I've only had 2 in-game dunks. I dunked one last year in homecoming, and then Friday. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Dunking never gets old. I need to pick it up and do some more the rest of the season, but I don't quite know how to describe it. Mm-hmm. It is just a layup, but you do get to throw it down, which adds that little bit of excitement. And I don't know, even when it's not a super impressive dunk, I get pretty fired up afterwards.
Hey, we can dream, what that must be like. Let's bring Colin Hubbard in. And Colin, obviously, your team's off to a good start. Let's thinking about the 9 games you played so far. What's maybe one win that kind of sticks out to you?
Wins. I liked our Camden Frontier win, actually. I think it really demonstrated what we can do, especially that first half. Like, we really just said, defense is central to our game, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what we did for, 16 minutes.
You were part of the soccer team that had such a successful season, and I got a chance to talk to Coach Brady and how proud he was of you guys and what you accomplished this year. Transitioning from soccer to basketball, really different sports in just about every way. What was that like to try to flip around quickly with a new coach and get ready to play basketball?
We had that nice 2-week period in between sports, and I didn't take advantage of it this year. I should have. But I've always loved basketball, and so to come into it doesn't matter what sport I'm coming into it from. I'm just ready to play. Mm-hmm.
What's your role on the team this year?
I like to think of myself as the field general. Mm-hmm. I don't really care about piling up stats or anything. I just like to make sure that the whole thing runs as smoothly as it can while I'm in there.
You think your team is getting comfortable with Coach Wells? You're about halfway through the year. As far as the offense goes, especially in your defensive assignments, you mentioned the Camden game Friday night. Do you see signs of everything starting to come together in both of those aspects?
Yeah, I mean, we're a work in progress, but I think by March 1st that we'll be ready. Mm-hmm. We'll be ready, and we'll be able to take on the Climax Scots and the Lenawee Christians, the basketball world. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Coach, I want to thank you guys for coming in tonight. 6-3 is a great start to the year. Next game at Pittsford Friday night. That's going to be a lot of fun. Coach Berger's a good coach. He usually has some athletes over there. Have you had a chance to study them or get up to speed on what they're doing yet?
I got my eyes and ears that are around the community that fill me in. So we heard a little bit about their game last night, and we're certainly keying on some of the things that they did. We played them tough at home. That was only our second game of the year. So I'd like to believe that we're further along than we want to be right now than we were back then, rather. So, and that was an overtime game. We didn't have all our guys with us, we know they're gonna want to go to their bigs. They do a good job of working them on the inside, let them block elbow screens, and working to get them open. But Our guards have done a better job of pressuring the wings, and it's not just about interior covering screens. It's about if there's good ball pressure, you're not going to be able to see the inside. So, Collins does a great job spearheading, that effort, and if there's one thing he brings, it's constant intensity. When he's on the floor, we tell these guys, if you're not dead after 3 or 4 minutes, I should be looking to sub you, after 3 or 4 minutes if you're doing your job. If you're not giving me 100%. And, we don't talk a lot about wins, and losses, and we don't talk a lot about, scoring and points. We talk to them a lot about, are you working to fulfill and achieve your potential? If you are, then you can leave the court, satisfied. And there was a quote that, we talk a lot about quotes. We put a lot of stuff on the board and give these guys. One of the quotes was from, the last year's NFL Hall of Fame induction. I can't remember the guy's name, but he had a quote, he put in his locker that said, if better is possible, then good is not enough. And if you think about that, if you apply that to your life, you can walk off the floor, practice, game, any walk of life, and just ask yourself, if you're competitive, what's better possible? And for most people, they'd say, yeah. So even though, we had a good game, a great game against Camden, but I'm told these guys in the locker room was better possible. And all of you, yeah, better was possible. Well, then don't be satisfied with good. You can be happy. Nothing wrong with being happy. But we're not satisfied, and so they have March 1st circled on their calendar, and I think, a lot of the people in the community and in Michigan, you can look back, especially, for a lot of Tom Izzo's teams. He'll run one of the hardest schedules in December, in January that he can, but he's looking to March. Is my team ready in March? So, they're 12-6. So, but by March they're going to be ready. So that's the goal with us, is to continue that upward trajectory. That we're better today than yesterday. Keep working. Pittsburgh's going to be a big test. In our division, hopefully, we're going to be at the top, trying to vie for that top spot in the division. So the next game on our plate is our biggest game. We're not looking ahead; we're looking to the next game. And so it's my job to get these guys ready. And right now, they're giving me everything that they've got, and I'm appreciative of that, and thank the Lord for the opportunity to work with them. And we'll see what happens.
I appreciate you guys coming in tonight. Noah Kaltoff, Colin Hubbard, and head coach Tim Wells. The Academy Colts are 6-3. They have a big game at Pittsford Friday night. Guys, best of luck to you, and wish you all the great success going forward.
Thanks so much for having us in. We appreciate it.